This is Mark Holmes, the editorial director of Via Satellite, and we're back with one of our infamous Thursday morning conversations. And I'm delighted today to be joined by an industry legend, a man who's been in the industry for 4 decades, which is quite an achievement. So let's welcome to the Thursday morning conversation, David Gelerman, the CEO of SpaceBridge. David, firstly, how are you doing?
Thank you, Mark. Quite nice.
Brilliant. Now, one of the things we wanted to talk about today, before we talk a little bit about SpaceBridge and some of the things you've got coming up this year, we always like to start these conversations with one or two sort of, different types of questions. So I know, David, when we were doing some prep for this, you were talking about some of the travel that you've done recently. So I'm very sort of curious, and, I know you've traveled the world. Where is your sort of favorite city that you've traveled to on business, and why?
Favorite city. I have many favorite cities in the world, but I would say the most I love to go is Paris.
Okay. What about,
There's so many interesting places to go, and most important, Louvre, where you can see so many different arts. It's a
yeah.
museum of all museums, I would say, and I love to go back over again and again.
I mean, I know you did some traveling last year. Was there anywhere that you went last year that you particularly enjoyed?
Paris. I went to Paris, actually went to several places.
Yeah.
I went to Greece, it's another favorite destination of mine, Athens. And also I've been in Dubai and in Amman.
How was Oman? I mean, that's somewhere a little bit different. I mean, I know we have big shows in Paris and Dubai. What was Oman like?
Amman is very nice place. Muscat is wonderful city, and you have several more cities, old capitals of Amman, and a lot of history, a lot of interesting places, very nice people, very calm, very assertive and peaceful.
Yeah.
And it's actually used to be big empire once upon a time, but now it's very contained, nice environment with good infrastructure and like I said, very friendly population.
Excellent. Now, I know I started this conversation by talking about you'd been in the industry 4 decades. Who is someone that you most admire in the industry? Who's someone who um, think has done an amazing job in our industry?
I would say Arthur Clarke, who said this is what we need to do, and he set the way for us to go, and everything next after him is the history.
Okay, very interesting choice. Now, before we talk a little bit about SpaceBridge, last year was the year where we saw people go into space for the first time, space tourism, and we saw people of all ages doing it. William Shatner was one who went into space. So, if you were offered a free ride into space, David, would you do it?
In a blink of an eye. Sure, I would do it.
Excellent. I think you're a braver man. I would still have doubts, but I'm not so good with heights, which maybe is not so good when going into
I
space.
wouldn't have any doubts, reservations. I'm physically fit. Maybe I would need to do a little bit more physical activities prior to flight, but I would enjoy, and actually I would really love to see universe outside of the Earth with some polluted lights, and also to see our Earth.
It does look a fantastic experience. So I can see why you would uh, be interested in doing that. And that's a nice segue. So let's talk a little bit about SpaceBridge now. I mean, it's an exciting new company that you've sort of put together, and we're at a very interesting time in the market for someone who's been in this industry 4 decades. How do you see sort of the 2020s sort of looking for SpaceBridge, and how excited are you about the opportunities for the company?
Well, like you said, it's interesting time. We see new constellations being launched. You see new technologies. You see software-defined satellites coming as the next generation, and even now. And we need to adapt. I see it's exciting time. It's a time of ever increasing changes in industry, and this is something what keep motivating me. What we need continuously to reinvent ourselves to get new features, new systems, new architectures, new platforms to fit requirements of new constellation like Leo, Mio, and increase speeds manifold. I'm not talking even tenfold. Um, so this is challenge by itself, and this what keeping me and our company going. When you said new company, SpaceBridge, actually it's not new company. It was created by amalgamation of SpaceBridge networks in Ottawa and EMS Technologies, Par EMS Technologies of Montreal. I purchased these companies in 2005 and 2006, and when we were in business since then as known as Atlantic Satellite Networks. When we sold Atlantic, we also sold name of the company with it, and we needed to rebrand ourselves, and this is how we became SpaceBridge.
Is this one of the most exciting times you think there's been in our industry for someone that's looking to provide state of the art technology and has been doing that for many decades? When you look at the 2020s and you look at these constellations, you look at where our industry is right now. When you look back and you look forward, would you say this is one of the most exciting times we've ever seen in the satellite space industry?
Um, sure, you know, I would say what life offers us now, it's logarithmic scale excitement. So every time we move it forward, excitement is actually accelerates and amplifies on a logarithmic scale. So any moment of life we live is becoming more exciting than prior moments of our lives.
Has the pace of change surprised you in any way? I mean, it wasn't that long ago where we were talking about a handful of geo orders every year, and the industry was relatively, I don't know, maybe even predictable, I suppose, in a way. But now we're talking about this era of thousands, tens of thousands, mega constellations. I mean, it's changed very, very quickly. Have you been surprised at all by the pace of this change?
Yes and no. I've been surprised what is actually happening now, but I'm not surprised. Like I mentioned before, we live in a logarithmic scale of pace of acceleration and innovation. And if you have desire, ability, and resources, you can do anything. You have our mind has no limitations, and we can achieve anything we want as long as we can imagine it.
Let's talk a little bit about what SpaceBridge is maybe going to be showcasing at Satellite this year, and some of the technology that you've released recently. Tell us a little bit about one or two of the recent releases, and what you're going to be showcasing at our satellite show in Washington in only a few weeks.
You're right. Satellite show is only a few weeks away. To tell you the truth, I don't know what we're going to be showing. It's our marketing and sales people arranging. But I can answer your first part of the question, which is what we delivered in the last year or two. We delivered full end-to-end DVB-S2X, DVB-RCS2 system. We got all latest technologies, so we can go to up to 500 mega symbols on the forward link. We can go very high speeds, up to 50 or 100 megabit on return links with very high efficiency. We delivered, I would say, first in industry, very low roll-off, 5% roll-off in MF-TDMA mode across all symbol rates and across all mode codes, not just low modulations. And what else? And we put robust system what is now proven in the field as high throughput, ultra high throughput satellite, and carries thousands of simultaneous users, uh, and this is a big achievement.
What is the sort of the deal flow right now? I mean, in terms of sort of customers, in terms of contracts, what do you think this year is looking for in terms of sign up and take up of that technology?
Well, it's not just technology becoming pervasive and available. Also, customers becoming more sophisticated and knowledgeable. We know exactly what we want, what we're looking for. And when in the past, when we introduced in 2008, 10% roll-off on a forward lane, nobody wanted even to talk to us without understanding what we're offering them, real saving in money. But today, everybody woke up and understand what 10% is better than 20, and 5% it's even better than 10. And every little percentage or byte what you can transfer through satellite, because it's your recurring cost, what counts. And we have a race to show whose system has high efficiency and greater utilization and more amount of satisfied customers simultaneously working on the system.
How would you say, I mean, you touched upon it there, but how have sort of customer demands changed? I mean, obviously I would imagine a wider variety of customers nowadays. I mean, what are the sort of the trends you're seeing amongst your customer base?
Well, first of all, in the past, most of satellite communication, apart of broadcast video, was voice communication, audio, and it didn't require large speeds. And today, everything is going video. Like you and I, we're sitting now in our offices, and we're seeing each other, not just talking to each other. You're recording this session, and it's all video. This is digital. If it's going through terrestrial fiber optical channels, it's no problem. But when it's going through satellite channel, it's could create a big issue. For instance, just to give you an idea, WhatsApp video, communication. If you do it voice, it's 15, 16 kilobit per second. If you do video, it's minimum quality, minimum acceptable quality, I would say, because you can go even lower. It would be 1 megabit. So it's like 7-8 fold increase in bandwidth, 70-80 times increase in bandwidth requirements to carry video feed or to carry voice feed. And this is significant. So communication requires now much more bandwidth, much more data rate, much more speed, if you want to say, and it's just accelerating.
I mean, you talk about speed there, and we talk about the changing environment for satellite communications. Do you see satellite being able to play more of a mainstream role in the communications ecosystem going forward? I mean, it's always, been the sort of technology you use when there's no other choice. But do you see more markets opening up for satellite communications as we go forward?
Well, satellite is still largely a niche market, and most of the people, like you just said, looking on satellite like a last resort communication when they have no other choice and they have to use it. But it's changing with free GPP consortium, what included now satellites as an integral part of 5G deployment. we see huge revival and demand for satellite communications. Specifically, it looks like LEO will be most suited for it because of inherent low latency. And with LEO, you have other challenges like you gain on latency, but you have huge Doppler effects and handover. How to do it? We have now system what does make before break switch over, and this is what satellite communication is all about. It adapts to requirement. And if requirement asking today hundreds megabits in each direction, this is what we deliver. If next generation will be asking gigabytes in each direction, I'm sure we will be able to find a way to do it too.
And without giving us the secret sauce of all your new product releases this year and what you might have coming up, what is this year going to look like for sort of SpaceBridge? What are you anticipating in terms of this year for you? What are the challenges ahead, and how are you going to overcome those challenges this year?
Well, I think our platform is today, what we're selling today, is as good, not better than our competitors' platform. Challenges, it's now to conquer the world. And I mean conquer. It's we have good system. We have a very cost-effective solution, and we need to make sure that our customers understand value proposition, and they will be delighted to deal with us. This is a challenge. So we need to provide service, we need to provide reach, we need to provide customer support, we need to provide some other features what specific to customer what we want to be quickly responding to them. And this is what we do day in and day out.
And I mean, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, in terms of the industry, one of the questions I've asked a lot of people over the last few months is, are we going to see more change in the next 10 years than maybe we saw in the last 30 years in the satellite industry? Are we going to see that level of seismic change, or do you believe no, as the case may be?
For sure, like everything accelerates and change will accelerate. So you will see more changes than in the last 30 years, in the last 3 years.
And do you still have
Sorry,
the
in the next 3 years, you will see more changes than you saw in the last 30 years.
Wow, that's quite a statement. Do you still? I mean, for someone that's been in the business for decades, and I know you're a very well-known name, and in our industry, do you still have sort of the same levels of enthusiasm now as when you started? You still sort of wake up and you're really hungry to seize the opportunities in the industry?
Of course, even more. This is what makes me excited and makes me going, and I hope I will do it until I'm 110 years, and will continue enjoy this industry.
Well, I hope to do the almost like the 50-year anniversary interview or conversation with you, David, about that. Yeah, we always so we like to end on some fun conversations as well. So we've spoken obviously a little bit about SpaceBridge and some of your great technology. Couple of questions I have for you, and again, slightly unusual questions here, but the one hobby that you would love to take up but you haven't quite done yet, what would that be?
Say it again.
The one hobby you would love to take up, but you haven't quite done it yet.
I guess it would be chess to improve my playing in chess, and I enjoy this game. It requires a lot of cerebral motion, and you have to think and see many moves forward to succeed in this game.
It's true. I haven't played chess since I was about 10 years old. So you might beat me if you ever play me at chess.
I don't know.
What is your what is your
I'm meeting my grandson, whom I'm teaching to play chess.
fantastic? What would you say, David, is your most treasured possession?
My most treasured possession would be my wife and my family.
Fantastic. And a quote, phrase, mantra that resonates with you. Do you have like a favorite quote or something that that you wake up and think that you think this is a quote you live by, or a quote that that means a lot to you in a way?
Well, yes, I would say what customer is our king. We are nothing and nobody without our customers and customer support, appreciation, and friendship.
No, no, very good. David, it's been an absolute pleasure. I mean, I've known you many years, and I've met you in many cities, and we really appreciate not just the support that you've given via satellite down the years, but we appreciate all what you've done for the industry, the great technology that you've brought to the industry. The industry is built upon people like you and what you're able to bring, and the companies you're able to build, and it's a fantastic career that you've had, 4 decades and counting. You should be very proud. I look forward to seeing you once again in person. It's been an honor for us to talk to you today, and we wish you and SpaceBridge, your family, your friends and colleagues, all the best for a very successful 2022. And thank you for coming on the Thursday morning conversation.